Our political representatives come to Washington, and everything that they do, every issue that they address, every speech that they give, the legislation that they draft, in one way or another, is connected to social science research. I think, ironically, even our political representatives who disagree with funding for social science research often use social science data when they're making that argument. So today we put together a program to kick off our celebrations here in Washington, D.C. We put together a program really to celebrate social science research and to talk about the impact that SAGE has had over the last 50 years with a program called Stories of Research to Reality, How the Social Sciences Changed the World. And we do believe that very passionately at SAGE. We do believe that good research leads to good policy, which does change the world.
I think social science is tuned in to the salient issues and debates that we're talking about right now, whether it be same-sex marriage or economic mobility, as was featured on the front page of the New York Times yesterday, or child rearing, or national security, or any of these things. Social scientists study topics like these because social phenomena have, I think, a real and profound effect on the lives of people.
In a democracy, the job of our elected officials is to decide what the policy objectives are and to attempt to achieve them. And to the extent that a social scientist wishes to engage in that third pillar that I talked about, daring to be embarrassed, daring to be out there before we know the answers, and offer analytic advice and prediction, to the extent that that's what they want to do, a job of the social scientist is to help the policymaker work out how best to achieve the goals.
I really have to take this opportunity to express our gratitude to Sarah Miller McCune and to SAGE Publications for the leadership role they've taken in the dissemination of groundbreaking, cutting-edge research that has informed and in many cases transformed public policy on gender-based violence in the United States and throughout the world.
This idea of putting together numbers and stories is the research methods called mixed methods research that I've been working on with SAGE for almost 20 years. There was a mathematician in South Africa that said, here's what mixed methods is to me. It's two hands coming together, and he stood in front of my workshop and put his hands together like this. The stories and the numbers coming together to tell a complete picture. When we were presenting in Tokyo, Japan on mixed methods about a year ago, one of the participants walked up to the whiteboard and said, here's what mixed methods is to me, and drew an equation. 1 + 1 = 3.
These recent events in Baltimore have focused the nation's attention not only on police-community relations, but once again, seems cyclical, on the causes, characteristics, and consequences of chronic poverty. However, as the response of some policymakers and some media outlets to these events demonstrate, long-standing assumptions about poverty persist. The need for social science research to revise these long-standing attitudes about the poor and about poverty is therefore more important than ever.
The social sciences are so well positioned to not only uncover insights regarding the intersection of business, social responsibility, and environmental sustainability, but also to provide guidance in terms of best practices and evaluation of social responsibility initiatives. We really can work together to make the world a better place for everyone.
If we want teachers to be professionals, if we want professionals to teach our children, then we shouldn't treat them like skilled laborers. We should treat them like professionals, which means we give them a large element of autonomy. Autonomy in a process that has really clear processes to lead to real clear changes. But without autonomy, it's likely not going to happen. I don't get excited when other people tell me what to do all the time if I'm a professional. Years of experience, a degree, multiple degrees possibly.
I'm just really tired of social science having to say we're as good as the hard sciences. if there's nothing else to take away from that story in the New York Times, from the kinds of work that we've heard about today, from Sage's remarkable 50 years of publication in the social sciences, what we can take away is this. We are not children of a lesser data set. We are actually the translators between the tidal wave of funding and brain power and media attention and expertise that go into the hard sciences right now and the rest of the world. We are not just the translators. Everybody who's ever translated everything also knows when you translate something, you create it. And if there was ever a time for the social sciences to not just hustle and nudge and try to get for equal footing with the hard sciences, but actually say, you know, pride, to borrow from other social movements, pride, this is the time. So thank you so much for listening to my story, and thank you so much to Sage.